I can't get used to that being announced that we're recording thing. But here we are. We are being recorded. Short Convos podcast, guys. Welcome.
No, no,
It's a sunny
we are.
daytime one today. Very sunny, very nice.
It is it's a sunny daytime, isn't it? As and how are you, my friend?
Wonderful. I'm very well. I am busy in all the good ways. I am tired in all the good ways, but I am all good. I have no complaints today. I have no rants. I have no issues. How are you, my friend? I should expect that you are recharged.
Well, actually, I'd like to announce that I'm actually trying to technically be on holiday at the moment. So we went away camping. We went away camping last week, and we lovely time away in the New Forest. Everything I've just unpacked and everything, and then Lauren and I are going away next week together, just for a few days ourselves. It's actually my birthday, so we're away for that. And I wanted to still chat because I'm, for better word, I'm feeling a little bit unsettled, to be honest. And I don't know if it's me or if it's the world that is unsettled.
Is there anything in particular that is unsettling you?
Well, where I'm at with it is, well, actually going completely off track here on the last
Okay.
episode, if anyone was following, because you might have just found this podcast somewhere, or, you're a follower, so you should be listening to all of our episodes. Last week you said about those things, we did top three, those things that grind your gears.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought of one. I said dusty Lego, and I don't think I want to I want to retract that one, and I want to say sticky stuff. I don't like sticky stuff when it gets on your fingers. In particular, the worst of the sticky is, when it's a really old label that was on something and it's come off, and it's that like kind of gooey, sticky stuff.
Residual glue.
Yeah, that gets on your fingers, like tree sap, that kind of stickiness. I just wanted to go back to that and throw that one in.
Yeah, no, that's a great one to throw in. The worst thing with stickiness is when you don't expect stickiness.
Yes,
That's even worse when you're touching something that should not be sticky and it is, and then instantly you're just thinking, why are you sticky? You should not be sticky.
But I wanted to throw that in there in case we go off down a rabbit hole and I forget to. But yeah, I'm feeling really unsettled and trying to work out whether it's me or the world in general, because of this whole pandemic and everything else is unsettled. So I was really aware of my emotions before going away. So before going away, it felt like I've got to get everything done, got to do it. I was like, no, just be calm about it. It's fine. You've got everything in hand. I was possibly firefighting more than I would want to. I wish I had a few more things planned. But I did get to a point and said, no, that's it. I'm going away now. And I think one thing that can be difficult with that is the comparison on social media. So, for instance, before going away, I'm seeing someone post, they've had 50 new students. All good for them, great. And it's like, shit, I need to do more stuff to get more students. And I don't think that that's necessarily a healthy thing. But I think I just wanted to be, I want to be a little bit more unwind. I want to unwind a little bit of anxiety and get more on a relaxing frequency. Does that make sense, Az?
Does. I think a lot of people are going to sympathize with you and I think you are right about it being kind of where the world is at the moment, because we're in this window of semi-freedom / going back to normal, which, if you're reading the news, which I'm not, but I keep catching glimpses, it looks like this isn't the light at the end of the tunnel that we were all hoping for, and it's all going to be over with. There's a chance we might regress. So I think it's really difficult to take a break when you know that the challenge isn't met, like we're not done here. And where we've been so out of it for so long, not been able to work, not been able to push how we normally would, there's a guilt attached. At least I know I would be feeling a bit of a guilt attached to taking a break from it at this time. I don't know if that's what you mean, or if that's what it might be.
That's why I wanted to have this convo, because I knew you'd be able to say some things, we'd be able to share it, and that's it. It's that guilt. I'm pretty certain, and I'm guilty because I'm leaving the business, though it's all in good hands.
The business is still going.
Yeah, and I'm also guilty because I'm unsettled and I'm not settling into what should be. Not to say I haven't enjoyed it, we had a good time, everything else, no, nothing like that. I just, in my inner self, just feel unsettled by it. So is there anything, being a self-help podcast and everything, is there anything like, where I'm going with this now is I'm really good at getting motivated for training. Working is, comes and goes. Sometimes you can be procrastinating a little too much and things like that. But I feel I've got good time management. I've got really good at getting motivated for training myself and training others, especially during this whole lockdown and everything else. But I feel like I need some tools to help unwind and help relax. Well, what would you say advice wise on that?
So it's tricky. And what if I was going to give you a piece of advice, just to give you a piece of advice, I would say similar to how we have to plan for tomorrow in order to wind down in an evening so that we can get a good night's sleep. So you'll write out what you want to do for the day. I think maybe you need to do like a broad spectrum version of that. And maybe like for next week or next month, whenever you plan to return, have a very kind of a battle plan in place so that, and maybe like it's too late now because like you said, you're on holiday, you're kind of in the thick of it, this won't work, but for next time, have it so that you can really shut the book on the week. Even if stuff is undone, even if stuff is unfinished, you can close the book on the week and then enjoy your time off knowing that you're set up to go on the other side.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the thing that's already come to mind, I'm going to do it because Lauren and I be away just together, which is very different to a holiday with the kids and with her parents and my family and other people. Like we had quite a few other people with us, so I think being away together will be different. I plan to like do the quadrant, the time management quadrant. For myself personally, while we're away. So, and I might even look at it from a business point of view. That's why I think I just want to gain a little bit control over myself with everything.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. It's hard when you're in it. I think when like you said, you're in the holiday, you're meant to be relaxing right now, and you're not because your head is, like you said, carrying the guilt and carrying the stresses of everything else. So that's a really difficult thing to advise. Other than like what we would tell everyone is you can only focus on that which you can control. And right now, the thing that you should be trying to control is the rest time for yourself.
Yeah.
I'd say probably put the tech away, like just switch it all off, because that social media thing is definitely a thing in terms of looking at,
But
seeing
that
someone's club.
But that takes me on to another thing that I wanted to speak about is I have, like when I go on holiday, I know a lot of people, like my brother-in-law, he's, constantly on the phone, still work and everything else. But I literally do disconnect. I say, I'm not doing messages because it's the first time I've left a couple of people in charge of the dojo for that first time. I've checked morning and evening just to make sure there's no emergencies and everything. But I haven't carried my phone around all week. I haven't been on a device all week. But today, when I checked, it was a message from reception, and for safeguarding, I won't say, obviously who or what. But parents got in touch to say that last night their child came home really upset after training, and the parent wasn't pleased about it. So it's straight away a problem that only I can deal with. And it's just magnified and it seems intense. And I called a parent and they're like, oh no, it's all cool. We know, like basically in short, you lot are diamonds. It's just our kid was having a moment and I had to call so that they could hear me say to them, say to you guys that he wasn't happy. And right. I just missed the call back from him to explain that. Because basically the kid got kicked in the face and black eye and was upset about it. But the dad's like, well, no, that needs to happen. So it was as cool as could be. But you're seeing that message and it's like, oh, fuck, I've left yeah, so it's all of that as well, I suppose. And we're about to move. So 2 weeks' time, we're moving. So I'm unpacking our camper, but at the same time, packing away to get ready to move. And I'm starting to think, come on, pull your shit together. Is the world all a little bit crazy, or is it just me?
I think the world is a bit crazy. And I think moments like that are just triggers I'm sure I told you the story about the cheese on the cheese toasting machine with the argument. I'm sure we
Yeah,
went through that at some point. Yeah, and it's just that, isn't it, where you're carrying all this stuff in the background, this guilt, this stress, and all of that, and then something happens that almost like highlights it and encapsulates it, and then you're like, see. And it just like, what did you say? Amplified it all really
yeah.
suddenly. It makes it quite intense. And I think we've all experienced that horrific sensation where you're just like, shouldn't have done it, or you start questioning the choices you made in that moment. I wish I had some better advice for you, and if anyone does, then they should comment below, because it's so tricky when you're in it. It's like the planning, pre-planning, that helps, but when you're in it and the crisis is happening, that's difficult.
Yeah, yeah. I would like to just be able to sort of hit a switch, unwind right now, just settle down and unwind, just enjoy it for it. Like, I don't know if one attracts it as well. You start to think that way. Like when we were on holiday, we were in a campsite, real nice family campsite in the New Forest, as in it was a nice setting and everything else. And on the second night, suddenly woken up at like 12, 1 in the morning. My niece is bawling her eyes out, and there's this huge racket going on outside. So I've called Bruce, I called the German Shepherd, gone walking over there in PJs, and it's a bunch of guys. They weren't lads, they're early 20s, completely off their head. Well, there was one guy that was semi with it, but everyone was completely off their head. And like I said to the guy, I said, look, you need to keep the noise down. And he's like, yeah, give us a minute, give us a minute. I'm like, all right, I walk over there. I walk back in 10 seconds. I said, you're not quiet now. So you've had your minute. You need to be quiet. And he's like, oh, I'm like, just talk to me. Just talk to me quietly. You don't have to shout. And then a couple of other guys came over from the other tent next door, and one of them started getting a little bit funny. I was completely disorientated because I just woken up. We were in the middle of a forest and everything. And then I ended up going to get the wardens to come over to get them to be quiet and basically take their details down so that they could be kicked off the next day. It took me 10 minutes to try and find them again because I got completely disorientated in the woods on the campsite. And then I got back, and it's like, basically, apart from that other family that got up, like we're talking, 100 strong camping here, I was the only guy that actually went over and sorted it out. And it's like, and then in the morning, the neighbour, like I went over to walk over basically to tell them to pee off, but they were packing up and going anyway. So I thought, no need to make a scene. But the neighbour, he was like, oh, I'm going out soon, so I don't know if I'm going to come back and say night. But the wardens were here last night and they didn't quiet down after. I'm like, it wasn't the wardens, it was me. It was me that was doing that, mate, while you're sitting. And it's like, I don't know if one takes on too many responsibilities or what as well. It's like, yeah.
That's who you are.
Venting.
That was not something. If you do that situation 100 times, you would have made the same decision 100 times, I think, because that's just the type of person you are. You take the reins. You're a leader type of person. Not to blow smoke up your ass, but that's just in knowing you and experiencing you. That's how you operate. And it's the best things about you, but I guess also that our strengths are our weaknesses, aren't they? They're the vices that we can't let go of. Because I'm very similar in the sense that I can't unwind, and I find it difficult to delegate, and I find it difficult to let go of responsibilities and allow things to not be perfect. And I catch myself all the time going against what I know is the better judgment, which is it's not your problem, or you've given that to someone else, let them handle it. But you're just like, I can do it better or faster or more instantly in one phone call, and it's going to take you 10 minutes. So I sympathize, and I'm not too sure on what to offer you in terms of getting you out of it, other than letting you vent it.
Yeah, I think maybe venting would be good, because then the next day, no, that same day, my mother-in-law arrived. And Lauren gets in a panic. She's like, oh, Mike, my father-in-law's gone ape because they've turned up and they've booked the wrong day. And they've turned around. Well, first of all, they said they've got no booking for holding. Then they found the booking, it was on the wrong day. And then they've got no space for them to come in. And this is after a horrendous, 4-hour journey that should only taken 2 hours. So Mike's losing his shit. Lauren's getting upset because it's meant to be our family camping, blah, 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 blah. So I literally walk over. I did nothing at all. Like Claire's like, "What did you say to her?" I just said, "Oh, you know, my mother-in-law can't get it." And he's like, "Yeah, cool, mate. Yeah, I'll do it sorted." And it's like, what? What? What's going on here? What's going on here? It's like, yeah. So I think maybe it's a knock-on of things as well.
Yeah, you just get more when stuff layers up like that. Like you said, it just amplifies it because it's just thing after thing that kind of proves what you already are talking about in your own head with yourself. And you're like, see,
Yeah.
see, see. But the trip was nice. Like, can you
Yes,
say the trip
yeah,
was nice?
yeah, no, completely. Like,
Good.
I've got a 1971 camper, as you know, and
Happy 50th, Casper.
yes, yeah, 50 years old last month in May. And before we went away, I did all the timing on the valves and the engine, which I've never done myself before. It's a new engine and all of that, so I was pleased with myself doing. I enjoyed doing that, and I just love packing the van. Like we did a time lapse of the pack away. So we've got these huge bell tents that has a fire in it. You know, we've got a sofa bed in there. We've got three girls, Laura and myself, so 5 adults, 2 dogs, 3 bikes, and it all goes in the camp. And to me, that's part of the trip. I just enjoy the packing, and I do just enjoy being outdoors. I think my best day was we went for a walk in the woods to the local town, and we actually went completely off course. I wasn't in charge of directing, and I purposely wasn't because I was hoping we'd get lost in the woods. And to me, that was the best time. Like I turned to my brother-in-law and said, "There's some kind of conversation that goes on when you're in these places, and it's an ancient woodland." And yeah, that is one of my favourite places to be with family in the woods, and I really enjoyed it. And we had a couple of nice meals as well. I had a nice steak yesterday that you would have appreciated as well. So yeah, I'm not saying it was all bad. I just, yeah, just getting it off. I feel a load better already now, so yeah.
Just speaking it out.
Holiday now. Yeah.
I think it's. I spoke to a doctor a while ago about stress. I've had a lot of conditions through my lifetime. Like if you looked at my medical history, and the majority of them, the cause for them is normally stress. So every time I go to the doctor with anything, a rash, a pain, an issue, they always just ask me, "Are you stressed?" And my answer has always been no more than anyone else. No more than usual. Nothing's particularly happened that's like spiked my stress for this to occur. And then I eventually met with this really just great doctor, and he said that that's the problem. Is if you go back to like our ancestors, the stress for them was it's hunting time. So there was a couple of hours a day that was a very stressful time of day because they had to go out, avoid predators, track the prey, get the prey, bring it back. And he said the rest of their day, 18 plus hours, was completely stress free. They would eat, they would, like you said, prep the fire, prep the cave, just do things around and spend time with the tribe, with the family. But now, the way the world is, we are in perma-stress. We are just stressed all day, but it's very mild and it's background. You're worrying about your business from 8 a.m. when you wake up till 8 p.m. at night, but it's just niggling in the back of your head. It's not right there in front of you, but that constant light stress, it builds. And then, like you said, a bad phone call and the lid pops off and it spills out, and then you feel the stress, but it's been there all along, kind of humming behind. I think that's the hard thing, is trying to go hours of your day with just not feeling it.
I think we need to also have conversations with like-minded souls. That's why I really still wanted to do this. Like we could have easily sacked off this podcast today, and I know we're doing it as a podcast, but just generally, soul to soul, you just need to have conversation with like-minded souls, and that's what we said about this whole podcast in the first place. It's just opportunity to talk, isn't it?
It lets you know you're not alone as well, because when you think about, is it the world or is it me? And then someone else says, no, it's me too. And then at least you know it's 2 people. So if it's the whole world against me and you, at least it's us 2, and you ain't all alone with it.
Alone, yeah.
So yeah, it helps. But I think you should just try to relax and enjoy the holiday as best you
Yeah,
can,
I will
and
do
then
now.
smash it when you get back, because
Yeah.
it'll still be there. That's the thing, right? That's the real thing. As bad as anything is that happens to us in life, tomorrow's still gonna come. Whether you're there or not, whether it's there or not, it's still coming round. So we can't get too worked up about anything.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I've got something food actually, and it came
Yes.
up the other day, just to sort of lighten and change the subject slightly. Meal times. What do you make of meal times?
Are we saying as in when you eat during the day, like when breakfast is or when lunch is?
Yeah, I can't quite quote the exact moment now, but I think it was, well, obviously not last week because we were away the week before. Cece said about eating something at a certain time, and
Yeah.
Lauren was
Okay.
like, "Oh, it's not that time right now." And I said, "Well, you can eat it whenever, can't you?" Yeah. What's your thing about meal times?
I'm a weird eater. I eat weird things for breakfast. I eat weird things for dinner. So I'm probably in the camp of you can eat it at any time. I like breakfast for dinner. I enjoy eggs and toast at dinner time. That makes me happy. I eat olives with my breakfast, which for a lot of people is just a mad thing. But for Turks, it's perfectly normal.
We're talking you have olives on your Rice Krispies here, or you have olives for breakfast?
As in, let's say we have a fry up. For me, a fry up also has some olives on it, just
Okay.
on the side.
Okay.
It's a Turkish. Any Turk listening will be nodding along, going, "Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, olives." But you know, when Anne first saw it, she just thought that's the most insane thing she've ever seen because she's German. They just eat bread all day. That's their thing. But breakfast, lunch, and dinner could just be bread, and Germans are fine with it. They're just cool with eating that stuff all day, every day. So I think it really varies. For me, I'm not too thing about it. I don't mind breakfast going into brunch. I don't mind brunch going into lunch. I'm pretty loose when it comes to
I
when you
think
eat and what you eat.
I think olives with breakfast is a little bit skew with. I'm not judging you on that, Az, but I do think
It's
it's
all
a
right. You
bit
can
skew
judge. It
with.
won't change anything.
But what I'm getting at is about the time of day in particular. So that window, it just made me think, yeah, some people are very regimented with that. And is it
Yeah.
a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it isn't like all I've had today is some scones and in what was my breakfast at midday. And I know I haven't had probably the best routine of food today, but I'll eat a big dinner later. And I had a big dinner yesterday. And I'm basically going by what I want to eat when I want to eat, kind of thing, within the realms of, yeah, not saying I'm just eating chocolate and donuts, as in the realms of I need something to fuel me, so I'll eat then.
I think for some people, the structure really helps. I think so for some people who know that they have a tendency to overeat or lean towards bad foods, I think having the set meals and saying, well, I'm not going to snack in between those meals and I'm going to eat the kind of stuff that you eat at breakfast, at lunch, at dinner helps them to maybe eat better, eat healthier, eat more balanced. And then for others, like I'm similar to you, I just kind of eat as I feel. And when I feel like I need some protein, I'll eat something with protein. When I feel like I need some carbs, I'll eat some carbs. And I just try to make sure things like, oh, I haven't eaten much vegetables today, so I'll make up for that at some point. But I'm quite conscious of all that stuff, whereas a lot of people are not conscious of it. Maybe they've just got too much going on. Maybe it's just something they don't really care about. So maybe the structure helps.
A lot of people are just not conscious, are they? As
I
they're
don't
just
think
flatlined.
anyone is conscious. Yeah, they're just zombies going through this existence blind to it all.
Exactly.
That,
And
that's how I feel.
any other features you bring this week?
I could definitely give us a top three. I'm gonna go with I want to give us a top three. I had one, an amazing one, and it is just when it just springs out of your mind. Yes, top three. I don't know if we've done this. I don't think we have. Accessories. So
Accessories. All right.
accessories. So it can't be the thing, for example, your laptop, but it can be an accessory for the laptop. It can't
Okay.
be your car. We did kind of this with cars, but that's as an example. Can't be the car, but it could be an accessory for the car.
I feel we've done something similar. We're not just calling gadgets, are we? We're
Not
talking an
gadgets.
accessory of something.
A supplement to something, a drill bit instead of the drill, a
Okay.
case for something. I'll tell you where it was birthed out of, and I don't know if it counts, but I got a backpack recently, and the backpack has sent me down this thing of what I carry in the day, my everyday carry, the stuff that I want and need with me every day. So maybe we could change, maybe this would help. Top 3 everyday carry items. Like, it's very good if you got these 3 things on your person.
Okay, yeah, I'm loving that. Well, you hit it off as you go first.
Well, I'm going to hit it off with my backpack then, if we're doing an everyday carry thing. I've never been into backpacks. I was always a shoulder bag kind of guy. And then Anne pointed out to me, she was like, they're not practical. And I was like, they're super practical. Shut your mouth. And she was like, I won't shut my mouth. They're a waste of time. Had this huge argument. We didn't, but she convinced me. I was like, all right, I'm going to try a backpack. So I bought a cheap one first. I bought like a 20 quid backpack to just see if it would revolutionize my life. She was right, as women often are, as wives often are. So then I got a nice one, and I love it. I love the compartments. I love all the.
Have you got it
bits.
there? Have you got it with you, Az?
It's not in sight. It's not in hand, and I don't want to run out of the room to go get it for you. But just trust me when I say it's everything I've ever wanted.
Can you shout out the brand? Is it like down the camping route? Is it a stylish or?
It's very much a practical backpack. It is very square and boxy. It's got loads of little zippy compartments. It's got loads of space. It just does a lot of things. For a lot of people, they'd say it's too much. There's too much going on. But for me, it's very satisfying. And I enjoy putting specific things in specific compartments. This area is for this thing. This area is for that thing. And I like now being in a point where people can turn around and go, oh, I need a knife. And I'm just like, whoop-a-cha.
Yeah, got it. Pocket.
Oh, I need this. Whoop-a-cha. I got it. Yeah, it's been bringing me joy. It's been making me happy. My bag. Number 1.
Yeah, I've got a lot of appreciation for that, Az, because I do like a backpack, and I do have a number of bags which I use in different times and different places. So I have the backpack for camping that has the most pockets you could ever get on a backpack. And trust me, I've had a few backpacks for camping. I've got a backpack for when I used to be on my motorbike. It was a specific backpack for that because it had certain compartments and everything else for use. Then I've got more of a trendy bag as well, like a shoulder bag. I've got a Star Wars one and a smaller one. But getting back to the top 3, I always like to carry a case, and I've used recent years it's become a leather case rather than your hard, because I've got different kind of cases as well, but a leather case. And in that, I've got a small pouch. Again, it's Star Wars up. And in that pouch has everything that I could need at any given time. For instance, it's got lip balm. It's got a little adapters for your headphones, for this, for that. It's just a little, I'm showing like about a 15-20 centimeter square at the moment, and in that pouch has everything. And whatever bag I take, so if we go camping, it went in the camping bag. If we go on holiday, as in airport traveling, it'll go in that bag. If we're going to competition, it'll go in my coach's bag. It will go in all the different bags. So yeah, that little accessory, there's I can't even remember what I got in it now, but I've got everything from little,
but it's got everything
tools.
You need.
It's got everything you would ever need, in there.
My second one is going to be, and it's a very recent purchase, and it's one of them things where I'm like, why have I not had this on me at all times, is a pocket knife. I've never actually carried a pocket knife with me. And then recently, I just thought that's something I feel like I should have on my person. And I used it since the day of buying it. I've used it every single day. I've found a use for it, and not like looking for it. I've just been like, oh, good thing I have my pocket knife. Wha-cha. Got it out.
Are we going with a Swiss
This style? I have. Do I have this at hand's reach? I think I do. If this is in this thing. It is one of these.
Oh, yes. Love it. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Very simple, very big. I didn't go for the big thick one. It is a UK legal carry. It does not lock, and it is below 3 inches, which for anyone wondering about legal carry in the UK, that is the law for it. Man,
So useful.
why do we not all carry a knife at all times? Not, that kind of
Yeah.
knife, but this kind of knife.
A utility knife, yeah. So as I've got about 12 different knives, depending on where I am. So I have my camping knife, forge knife. I've shown you that, haven't I? As
You have,
just haven't got a handle for that yet. I've got a Leatherman, I've got a camping knife, and then I've got a highly illegal lock blade knife that my dad got me from a wolf sanctuary in New Mexico. So, but it's a very good steak knife. So yeah, I do really appreciate those. But I've got a little pocket knife actually, like the real traditional red version of what you've got, but smaller, and it hangs on my camper key rings. And I must have had that. It was one of my best presents growing up in my stocking. I reckon my dad must have got it for me when I was about 5 or 6, like early age. And I've always had it, but it's got to the point now that I've super glued it back together so many times. And there's a spring when you get the knife or the scissors out. There's a spring that holds it in place. That spring has now snapped. So quite often I stab myself in the leg because they flip out because there's no spring holding them back. So I need to find out whether I can dismantle it and get those springs. So I just haven't got around to doing it yet. But I appreciate those. So for my top 3, I'm going to throw in on this vein my leather pouches. Can I throw it into broad spectrum of?
Yeah, that's fine.
So I'm waving at the screen. I have a hip thing for my phone, which is my leather. Obviously not real leather, but fake leather pouch. I have a little leather pouch for my AirPods with a clip that clips to that, so it hangs on. And then I don't have it with me, but I have a pouch for my iPad. I love my leather accessory pouches. Yeah, I love that accessory.
A devil's advocate question here, because I've heard this question asked. You are someone who carries a phone pouch. Yes. Why the phone pouch over the pocket that's normally located directly next to where the phone pouch sits?
Because
if there's a reason at all, because it's just something I know people ask people who have a phone pouch.
I don't have a phone case, so I feel it protects the phone more. I've been really good with my phones over the years. I've only ever had to have a screen of my own phone replaced once, and that's because I was ice skating and enjoying going full speed, but the only way I could stop was using the barrier, and then got out after an hour of ice skating and had a boomerang phone. I think it's from that moment I switched to a pouch. So yeah, I think that's the reason why.
Cool. Well, I think that's justifiable then. That's fine. Not that it wasn't justifiable. I just thought every time I see someone with a pouch, someone around me who sees someone with a pouch says, "Why don't they just put it in their pocket?" Now we have an answer.
Because when you go ice skating, you bend your phone.
Yeah, there we go. My last one is going to be the endless collection of paper notepads. Go around my house. You will find a paper notepad in every room, all for different purposes, all being used, all inactive thing. Paper notepads, it's like a fetish. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Just on my desk, I have 3 different paper notepads, all different brands, all different shapes and sizes. It's a problem, but I must love them. They must be an accessory.
So what 3 are they? Well, tell me more. What are you noting in those pads?
We have you phoned me and I'm going to forget everything you've said. So I'm going to quickly jot it down notepad. We have the once a week, my life unravels. So I try to sit down and put it back together again notepad. This is probably the most important one of all of them. This is, I sit down on a Sunday and I go, what the fuck just happened over the last 7 days? And how can I make sure that doesn't happen again? And then this is I'm getting close to killing people notepad. So I'm going to write all my darkest thoughts down so that I don't hurt anybody, either with my words or with my bare hands. So this one, when I die, I want someone to publish it as a book because I think it will do great. But I need to be dead because there's nothing in here that's suitable for worldwide consumption. But I think it would be a pleasure to read.
And is that personalized? Did I see that one's personalized?
This one was a gift. This one was a gift. And the gift came to me damaged. So they were walking down the road with it. And as they were walking down my road, they dropped it and damaged it. And there was something about it where I said, yeah, this is going to be the one that I'm just going to, it's going to be the angry one for when just stuff is going really bad. Because I got load like you. I love digital notes for business and for all of that. But personal notes, I struggle with typing them out. I find it better with a pen. I find like I'm more, because I have to write slower, I feel like I write more sincerely with the pen than I do typing.
Yeah.
I feel like I just spill stuff out.
I'm liking this. This is a good top 3. Well, my third is tied in with that, actually. I got it a few years back. It's actually, I believe, an architect's pencil case, but brown leather again, pretend. I've got a brown leather, it rolls up pencil case that I carry with me. So wherever, like when we've gone camping, wherever we go, in my business bag, it always goes in there. It's got my favourite fountain pen as well. So I'm glad you've mentioned about the diaries because that's something I need to, I think that will help unsettle me or settle me again rather, is get back to my diary because I don't think I've written in it during the pandemic. I think I've been that unsettled. So I'm going to start making sure I do that. And yeah, this pencil case, it has my pen. It's a proper, ink fountain pen. I always write in my diary or anything important. I always write with that pen, have that pen ready.
Recommendation of a pen, Jay. We have to recommend a pen.
Okay.
Pen.
Well, I don't know the actual make or brand of the pen, but it's a fountain pen, and I got it from Rome of all places. And I happened to had inherited a bit of money at the time of being in Rome, and there was a few things on my list that I wanted to get myself as a reward, as a treat, not a reward, as a treat, to make me feel better, basically, about inheriting from someone dying. One of which was a camera, so I didn't get that in Rome, but I got myself a camera, and I'd always wanted a really nice fountain pen. And I know you can go really mad with them. But it was about £200. It was, it's not a cheap pen, and I've nearly thought I've lost it several times, but found it, and that's like, oh, where's it gone? My favourite pen. And yeah, I just love my fountain pen. I have to use I have to use a pot of ink to, I don't know what, syringe.
Oh, it does a refill.
Refill.
Very cool.
And everything like that. So yeah, it's my favourite pen. And back if you want to hit the bell, digital marking. For our club on gradings, I would always use that pen for gradings as well.
So that's all. So you're recommending go to Italy and buy a medium range, relatively expensive fountain pen.
Yeah.
Solid recommendation. For anyone who can't get the flight because it's are they amber now? If you can't fly there, here's a more. Do I have one? Oh, I'm gonna get angry at myself now. Damn, my recommendation is normally always at hand. I've got 3 notepads and no pen to write in them. No, I need to find this pen. It's always here. Stall. I've got it. I've found it.
Oh, here, while you're there, I've actually found I didn't realise I've got my camper key next to me. There, as you showed me your knife, the audio listeners, I'm showing like a very worn, and see, there's no click now to any of the tools of my pen knife. And quite often that falls out and stabs me in the leg. But
they're just so timeless, aren't they? Like you look at that, and that's still you'd buy that today. It would basically be the same, just a little less worn down.
It's like 35 years old, that one.
Is that toothpicks or tweezers at the end?
The toothpick's gone. That fell out somewhere because the actual bit that holds it isn't there. I think the toothpick's a bit of a waste of time, to be honest. But these tweezers, man, you can actually see the burn marks where I've used them for like getting spots. Can you see it? Cauterized it to be, and yeah, they've been bent, reshaped, and I had to glue this in a way that it would hold them in and not lose them.
Love it. Audio listeners.
Oh yeah.
you suck. But video, guys, this for
That is
me is.
the pen and pens.
You're in agreement. It is
yeah,
the pen of
100%.
pens. For anyone wondering, Papermate Flexi Grip Ultra 1mm.
The click, the ink. I got a pack of pens the other day thinking I'd got something similar. They all came with this thing over the actual tip, and they don't work half as good. Like you leave them in the pen pot and they leak. It's like, but those, we're just so on sync with that. As
Oh, I'm glad because yeah, like you said, they just work. They just write properly, consistent. It only stops working when it's run out of ink, and they're cheap, readily available, come in colors. It's the only pen you need other than the Italian fountain pen refilling thing.
Yeah. There you go. Should we wrap this up with a quote? Because I want to go enjoy my holiday.
Let's wrap this up with a quote. I'm going to find one that I had.
I came prepared. We were talking about with my brother, and Ian was on the camping trip, and family members. We were talking about different comedies. I forget how that came up over the campfire. And my brother said his favourite comedy of all times. Maybe we could do that as a top three, his favourite comedy of all times is 40 Towers. And I was looking for a quote for today and stumbled across, coincidentally, this one. Something about John Cleese was always very unsettled, I felt. There was always something else he wanted to do. He seemed constantly driven by the sense that there was a nirvana somewhere, some unique place where mind, body, and soul would be utterly satisfied. And that was by Michael Palin, part of the Monty Python crew. And I just thought it was fitting with how the conversation started today as well.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Here's one about meditation. I don't know how true this was, but I like it. Buddha was asked, "What have you gained from meditation?" He replied, "Nothing. However, let me tell you what I have lost. Anger, anxiety, depression, insecurity, fear of old age, and death. Sometimes it's what we lose and not what we gain that matters."
Oh, that's a good one, Az. That's just right for now as well. I'm going to go meditate for 3 more days of my holiday.
Meditate, journal, diary, and if all else fails, whiskey.
Yeah, for sure. I really enjoyed that, dude.
Dude, it was great seeing you. Enjoy the rest of your break. And guys, look forward to next week. We will do a martial arts special, hopefully, and cover some of the deeper inner workings of the world of martial arts.
Yes.
Like, share, subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.
Peace out.
Peace.